All right. Happy Monday, everyone. This is going to be a great week. I know a lot of people are going to be off this week. If you are not already off and vacationing with your family, you're definitely going to be traveling and on the road. So I want to wish everyone right now safe travels as you are out and about with friends and family. I'm looking forward to seeing my mother and my older brother. I'm actually bringing them over to Oahu for this week for the 4th of July. So we'll definitely be lining up a lot of great festivities. Of course, you're in Hawaii, so you have to do a luau as well as of course, visit the beach. So I know I'll be spending time with family. I know many of you will be spending time with family and friends. So as we are celebrating, always remember, keep it safe and make sure that you are not only watching out for yourself, but also others. Want to also give a shout out to WeBank. I was also at the WeBank conference in New Orleans just this past week. It was an excellent conference. It was great weather in New Orleans. The entire WeBank team just did a fantastic job with entertainment, as well as all of the companies that were in attendance at WeBank, from the automotive industry to the energy sector, retailers, you name it, food and beverage. There was just a lot of really great information being shared, a lot of wonderful contacts. I was able to see some old friends from JP Morgan, and it was just a really great event. And so I hope everyone who was also in attendance at WeBank also had a very successful showing and were able to accomplish the things that they wanted to accomplish at this particular event. All right, so today we are going to be talking about the mindset shift from employee to entrepreneur, and I'm Kimberly Nicole Evans. I'm the CEO of Seismic Transformation, as well as Beck Evans, an associate limited co, and I'm a co-partner, co-founder, founder of Renell Evans Limited Company as well. And so I work directly with entrepreneurs, existing entrepreneurs, startup entrepreneurs, as well as career professionals who are transitioning into entrepreneurship. And so Seismic Transformations actually is a coaching company that works specifically with existing entrepreneurs, as well as those who are transitioning into entrepreneurship. And we work on your mindset, as well as giving you the tools and strategies to be able to successfully move forward in your company. But a lot of the work that we do is true mindset work. Throughout my career, the common denominator I have seen with entrepreneurs, whether they were in startup mode or existing mode, or some even retooling and reorganizing, has always been the mindset of the leader. You are the head, the tail, the sun, and the moon for the companies that you have founded and the companies that you are running. And if you don't have the right mindset around the strategy and the goals and the mission and the values of that company, it's going to go in whatever direction that you as a leader lead it to. That is what leadership is all about. It's also being able to attract and hire the right employees, as well as motivate them and keep everyone on track. And so as a part of my journey as well, again, I have multiple companies that have launched. We're going to talk about today the mindset shift from employee to entrepreneur. And I am going to talk about it in a very specific way. Even with a lot of existing CEOs, they have not quite made the shift to what it really means to go from an employee to an entrepreneur. And what do you mean by that, Kim? You've all heard the phrase working on your company and not working in your company. I'm still continue to work with entrepreneurs and CEOs that spend the majority of their time working in their company as if they were an employee of their own company. You're not the employee. You are the leader. You are the CEO. It is not just a title that is put on a card. There are certain things that have to take place. There are certain things that you have to ensure that are in place as that CEO. But today we're going to talk specifically about transitioning from employee mindset to that of an entrepreneur. And it is like suddenly moving from a passenger seat into a driver's seat. There's no more smooth automatic rides where someone else navigates the way. No longer can you rely on others to chart the path ahead. Now you are in control, responsible for the decisions, and should be ready to hit a few bumps as you steer your life towards this new destination, paving your own path. This transition requires a shift, not just in skills, but also in mindset. While an employee mindset often prioritizes stability, routine, and risk aversion, an entrepreneurial mindset absolutely embraces adaptability, resilience, and the confidence to take charge, even when the future is uncertain. The transition isn't just about acquiring new skills, it's about rewiring your thinking to thrive in a world that is full of uncertainty. In addition to opportunity and personal ownership. Again, the transition isn't just about acquiring new skills. It's about rewiring your thinking to thrive in a world full of uncertainty, opportunity, and personal ownership. Starting your business is one of the most exciting and rewarding decisions you'll make. But for a lot of people, especially women, African American women, this leap often carries even greater stakes and deeper meaning. Of course, I'm not just saying that as an African American woman. Entrepreneurship is not just about creating a strong business. One of the deeper meanings behind it is about breaking barriers, charting unexplored territories, and building a legacy in a world that hasn't always made space, right, for certain people. But here's the thing. It is not about what the world is willing to do. It is about what you are actually able to envision for yourself. It is the freedom to chase your vision, build something extraordinary, and create a lasting impact that is unmatched. I often refer to this as being a soulpreneur, right? Soulpreneurship. We know that within our communities, not everybody is going to chart the same path. Not everybody is going to start from the same place. But if you are starting a business, especially in North America, whether it's Canada or the United States, there is so much potential and possibility, right? We all have someone that we look up to as far as being in business, being an entrepreneur. For myself, as an African American woman, I've always looked at trailblazers, right? Such as Madam C.J. Walker, the first self-made female millionaire in America, right? And as other modern mavens that you may not have heard of, like Bozoma St. John. She's the former Netflix, chief marketing officer. And of course, Janice Bryant Howrey-Rod, the founder of Act One Group, who was actually just at WeBank and is a huge supporter of WeBank. The entrepreneurial accomplishments of women, women in general, are etched in our history. And these are stories. If you don't have someone that is a motivation for you in your entrepreneurial journey, I definitely would encourage you to seek out those individuals, whether they are alive or no longer with us, but just as inspiration, right? Their stories, oftentimes with businesses, although we are constantly evolving and heading into technology, often things are just a recreation of something we already have. As wonderful as Tesla is, it's a car. It's a car. It runs with a battery, but it is a car. It doesn't have an engine, but it definitely has 4 wheels and a steering wheel and seats and a radio and all of these other things. It's a car. We went from the Ford, Model Ts, all the way to Tesla, and beyond. But it still functions the same. It carries people from point A to point B. Before Ford and the Model Ts, there was a horse and buggy. It carried people from point A to point B. Prior to, we have trains. They carry goods and services and people from point A to point B. This is not, no one, only very few people are actually rocket scientists. Most businesses are not based upon any type of science at all, right? So you can find stories of people that are that motivate you, right? So as you go through those stories, you will see that they can be soul inspiring, and that whatever business or idea that you have, it is very possible. But as we look at downright transformation, right, for both the individual and the greater community, you have to be able to bring your idea or whatever it is that you want from your mind, from the piece of paper, into actually coming into fruition. And that requires a lot of you, including a mindset shift. So shifting your mindset requires moving away from the stability, the routines, and the hierarchy that was defined in your experience as an employee. Instead, you must learn to lean into adaptability, uncertainty, and the confidence to create something entirely your own, right? While the road ahead may seem challenging, it offers limitless opportunities for growth and soul fulfillment. And I will say again, it offers limitless opportunities for growth and soul fulfillment. We live on a planet that is abundant in most all resources. So we live in absolute abundance. We live in a world that is just full of possibilities and opportunities and potential. So we're going to focus on preparing you for this soul nourishing transformation and asking the right questions, building the right mindset, and seeing your unique corporate background as a springboard to remarkable success. I'm often asked him, do I have to start over? Do I have to ignore? Do I have to tear down what I've already built up? And absolutely not. You bring it with you. So we're going to dive into the core changes that are required to make the shift. We'll look at what's confronting and overcoming both confronting and overcoming your limiting beliefs, as well as developing resilience by transforming your limiting beliefs into abundant new ones, ways to adapt to new challenges, and cultivate the confidence that is needed to transform yourself into an empowered business leader, right? So let's talk about overcoming limiting beliefs. I know this is something that is widely talked about, but it is absolutely true. We don't oftentimes even realize that the belief systems that we have been limiting us, right? So, but before we dive into our beliefs, I want to reflect on something that we currently see or know to be or think is true, but actually is not true, right? Self-reflection is one of the first steps in this transition. And it means that you have to look at your personal motivations, but also consider how your cultural identity influences your aspirations. Entrepreneurship can represent reclaiming ownership over your time, your talents, and your energy in a world that has often demanded more of you than you were able to give, especially in your corporate settings, right? So let's just be very clear on, oftentimes individuals say to me, well, Kim, I don't really have any limiting beliefs. And once we start to go through the exercises, I will start to point them out. And a limiting belief can be something as simple as, well, as XYZ, you just fill it in. I don't have as much access to capital as someone else, or because I was born in a certain family, I'm not expected to be able to achieve as much in my entrepreneurial journey as someone who may have been born into a different situation financially. When you start to approach entrepreneurship with these types of mindsets, they are actually limiting beliefs. You may not call it that, but that's exactly what it is. Ask yourself tough but illuminating questions like, why do I want to start a business? Are you actually seeking independence, financial security, or the fulfillment of pursuing a passion? Perhaps your goal is to create economic opportunities for others in your community. I hear that a lot. How will my business reflect my personal values? Many people weave a sense of giving back into their entrepreneurial ventures, from mentorship to community initiatives, which is all fine. But I also caution these entrepreneurs that when you start with these grandiose values of wanting to give back to the community, poor can't give back to poor. If you are needy, you can't give to needy people. So you also have to be able to think in terms of creating business models that will enable you to be able to create the type of wealth that you need in order to be able to contribute to these community initiatives and have the free time to be able to become a mentor. Ask yourself, what aspects of your identity do you want to celebrate in your business? I speak on C.O.R.E, a concept that I developed, right? Characteristics, traits, and gifts that are original and unique only to you, that when we leverage and promote it, will lead to you living your exceptional life. Whether it's through cultural storytelling, whether it's through beauty products, CPG products, food and beverage, your business can serve as both a platform and a megaphone for your story. These reflections guide more than your business. They shape your mission, they shape your vision, and turning a job into a purpose, right? So our beliefs shape our actions and our realities. It's called, my mentor Bob Proctor speaks on this all the time, it's called a paradigm. And a paradigm is no more than beliefs that you have about yourself and your capabilities within the world. And your beliefs are just thoughts. They are thoughts that you have over and over again, and you have these thoughts to the point where you have rooted them into your very being, your actions. And these are your beliefs. And we get our beliefs about a variety of ways: through family, through religion, through all sorts of things. Many of us carry limiting beliefs that can sabotage our success before we even get started. If our beliefs are rooted in doubt, rooted in fear and inadequacy, they will without any doubt stop us from becoming who our souls need us to be in this day and time. In this day and time, I am often just still very aware of when I speak to entrepreneurs, and I'm going to speak directly towards many women entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, people who are labeled as minorities, and they have a deck of limiting beliefs, all while they're going through the process of wanting to start a business. And it's not to the point where individuals may not see evidence or some evidence of some of the beliefs that they have. But nothing is written in the stars. There's nothing written in the stars about your ability to be able to attract capital. There's nothing written in the stars about your ability or inability to be able to build a team. There's nothing written in the stars about your ability or your inability to be able to grow your business. It just simply is not. For every example someone presents to me, I can also present to them a counter example of someone who looks just like them, very similar, oftentimes same backgrounds, but they've been able to achieve what they wanted to achieve in their business and life, and the other individual has not. And again, what is the common denominator? More often than not, it is their mindset and their beliefs around certain things, and therefore they get into a routine of attracting lack, of attracting not having enough, of attracting not being in the right place at the right time. They set themselves up for failure based upon their beliefs, but yet they keep forging ahead in their businesses with these beliefs. Our beliefs are, if your beliefs are rooted in doubt, fear, and inadequacy, lack, they will without a doubt shape how you go about building your business and stop you from becoming what it is that your soul needs you to be in this very day and time. As an employee, you may have grown accustomed to someone else setting the goals, solving the problems, and handling the larger strategy. Some individuals live a life defined by their job description, which sometimes can be unfulfilling and limiting. But as an entrepreneur, you are the one steering the ship. You're not in the passenger seat. You are the pilot. You're not the co-pilot. You're the pilot. You're not in the passenger seat. You are the driver. You are the one steering the ship. To make this transition, it's essential to identify and replace the beliefs that no longer serve you. You must confront the subconscious narratives holding you back, replace them with empowering truths, and approach every setback as an opportunity for growth. At Seismic Transformation, this is exactly how we help our clients and help our entrepreneurs move forward. This is why we have designed all of our consulting and coaching in the form of a mastermind. There's individual consulting that is always set up around the masterminds. But you don't even realize oftentimes that you have these limiting beliefs until you start saying them out loud. And then you're in the company of others as well who are coming into the same realization. I remember the day that I realized that I was standing in my own way. While still working my corporate job, I would often dream about launching a business, right? But my inner monologues were full of excuses. I don't have the time. I'm working too much in this business, too many hours towards this to be able to make the time to put something together, right? I don't have all of the training that I need. You may go through this, it's the family, it's the dog, it's the whatever, right? There was always something. And every time I came close to taking action, those thoughts would just stop me. And you don't even really see it as something that is limiting you. You truly believe that the thoughts that you have are real reasons for not doing what it is that you know you should be doing. Me included. And for many, many years, many of us wear these beliefs like armor. And we will go down fighting, justifying why they're true. But in reality, it's more like a cage, right? Keeping you stuck in your comfort zone. My challenge came when I started challenging these beliefs. And I actually had help because like everyone else, you just think your mind is great, that you know exactly why it is that you're not doing X, Y, Z. And the very program that I teach now through Seismic Transformations is the program that I went through. I realized that most of the entrepreneurs that I had admired, they had started at zero. I reminded myself that I had learned and excelled in my corporate career, and there was no reason why I could not transfer those skills to a business of my own. I didn't have to start over. I didn't have to burn the house down. I didn't have to go back to day one like I was brand new. Slowly but surely, I began replacing those limiting beliefs with empowering thoughts. And that allowed me to take action one step at a time. You don't have to do everything all at one time. I love how, again, Bob Proctor just says, do one or two things. Do 1 and 2. Not a laundry list of 1 through 15. Do 1 and 2. That doesn't mean you can't have 15 things that you know you need to accomplish, but do 1 and 2. And once you finish 1 and 2, start over with a new number 1 and a new number 2, not 1 through 15. And when you finish your first set of 1 and 2s, celebrate. Have a mini celebration in your mind, or get yourself a nice cup of coffee, or make yourself a nice tea, or whatever it is that you need to celebrate in that moment. And that just gives you your self-confidence. It tells the universe that you're ready for the next step and the next step and the next step. And it doesn't have to take forever. You can get to where you need to be sooner than you think by proximity. And what do I mean by proximity? By getting in front of the people who have been there, done that. I have a group of mentors who have been there, done that. They are already millionaires, or they were millionaires while they were physically here on earth, and they may have gone to their next transition like Bob Proctor has been. But I have a group of millionaire mentors. And you do it one step at a time. And proximity cuts down your time to when you start and when you can get to your results, by getting in front of the right people, by having the right mentorship. That's why the view behind me is not a fake view. This is my view every day from my home office. One of my home offices is actually one of two. I travel between Oahu and the mainland. My home is still Texas. But I had to give myself permission to start where I was and not think that there was going to be some new magical time to get started. The time to get started was at the time I decided that I was going to change the direction of my life. That was the right time. And absolutely no regrets, would not go backwards for any reason whatsoever. And I brought everything I've learned, all of the years behind me, with me to this day. Throughout our lives, the beliefs of others can sometimes become our own. Oftentimes we don't even examine or ask, where do your beliefs come from? This is something that must be changed and consistently worked on in order to succeed in life. For example, a common limiting belief could be, I'm not qualified to run a business. This belief is all too familiar, especially for first-time entrepreneurs. You may feel like you need more skills or knowledge to succeed. Most of you already have master's degrees, PhD. You don't need to go out and get another nothing for whatever it is to run a business. You just don't. All the information is around you, is quickly around you, through proximity, through the right mentorship. We even have AI, artificial intelligence now. Instead, adopt a growth mindset and remind yourself that everyone starts from somewhere. Everybody starts from somewhere. The new belief to embrace here is that you are capable of learning anything that you need to learn along the way. Whatever you think that you have that you're missing. Bob Proctor often speaks of the knowing-doing gap. Guess what? You can pick up that information along the way. You don't have to go and get another degree or take another class. You can, but it's not necessary in order to get started with your business and your transition, right? So here are a few common fears that often plague aspiring entrepreneurs, along with the strategies to reframe them into an empowering belief. So get your pens out. Limiting belief. I need a guaranteed paycheck to feel secure. Right? I need a guaranteed paycheck to feel secure. So now let's reframe that. Security isn't tied to a paycheck. It's tied to trust in your ability to create multiple income streams and adapt to change. Entrepreneurship doesn't have to mean financial instability. You can create a practical plan and recognize that the flexibility and earning potential of your business can be more rewarding than a paycheck. Say instead, I'm capable of creating financial stability by managing my resources and planning effectively. along with your existing revenue streams, whether it's your 401k or your investments or your passive income that you may have in rental properties that you have, you can continue to create multiple revenue streams. There is no stopping you as to how many revenue streams that you can create. Limiting belief: I don't know enough to start my own business. Let's reframe that. No one starts out knowing everything. And entrepreneurship is a learning process. Every entrepreneur that is currently an entrepreneur is still learning. They didn't stop learning when they started a business. To be honest, all millionaires are not handed the roadmap to become wealthy, nor are they born into wealth. And entrepreneurship is no respecter of person. It does not care what your gender is, what your sexuality is, what your race or ethnicity is. It doesn't. Many have to take the steering wheel into their own hands. And even some of the people who are the wealthiest people in the world now weren't born into wealthy families. And you can replace this with: I am committed to continual learning and growth on this path. Limiting belief: I can't handle the responsibility of an entrepreneurship. Reframe that by saying many people have daunted by the level of responsibility that entrepreneurship demands. But responsibility doesn't mean doing everything alone. Yeah, you have a lot of help in your corporate world. You can build a team. Seeking mentorship and learning to delegate are all ways to reduce the load. And now more than ever, it has never been more affordable to build a quality team, because you can outsource the work. Whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, whether it's business development, you can outsource the work. Replace this by saying, I'm capable of handling challenges, and I don't have to do it all alone. Limiting belief. Number 4. What if I fail and people think I'm foolish? Okay, I hear that. Reframe: every failure is a lesson and a stepping stone to success. Your soul doesn't believe that you are a failure if you make a mistake. You are the one that may believe that you're a failure just because you make a mistake. Failing at a task doesn't mean that you are a failure, right? Subconsciously, we're programmed to think that perfection, although unattainable, is a landmark. Many of us are subconsciously believe, and we are programmed to believe, that in order to achieve something or do something, you have to be perfect at it all the time. That's impossible. I'm here to tell you that perfection is not a be-all and an end-all, and it's not even possible. Think instead, I value progress over perfection. I value progress over perfection. And give yourself permission to learn through the mistakes. Give yourself permission to learn through the mistakes. I would advise you to write down any limiting beliefs that surface within your thoughts, right? Keep a notebook with you to utilize, a note-taking on your phone. I use the notes on my phone. Once you've taken notes of your limiting beliefs, work on reframing each one by one, with a positive, empowering belief. We take you through this process and these steps at Seismic Transformations. We have a system in place to help you to overcome these limiting beliefs. Read your new beliefs daily. Some people call them affirmations, right? And over time, you'll start to internalize them. This is absolutely true. How do you think you learn your limiting beliefs? You learn them through repetition. Guess how you can overcome those limiting beliefs? By learning new beliefs through repetition. Right? The difference often lies in our beliefs about ourselves and our potential. Limiting beliefs, those nagging voices that tell us we're not good enough, we're not ready, or we're not capable of one of the biggest barriers to success. And left unchecked, these beliefs can erode confidence, stifle your creativity, and keep us stuck in our comfort zones. To transform from employee to entrepreneur, overcoming limiting beliefs is absolutely essential. And we're going to dive into how these beliefs are formed and how they hold us back, and most importantly, how to break free from them. We'll also draw on insights from a few influential voices in personal growth, like Michael Beckwith, Tony Robbins, to guide us on this journey of self-belief and empowerment. You don't have to take it from me. You can take it from other people who have been there, done that, and who have successfully transitioned thousands of people through this process that we take you through. And by the way, Bob Proctor worked on this process for over 75 years. The company now is 75 years. I'm a certified consultant through Proctor & Gallagher. Sandy Gallagher still runs the company successfully. She herself is proof positive of transitioning from a wonderful corporate career. She was a high-end, high-powered, high-paid corporate attorney. No one has given up anything that wasn't for the lesser. Michael Beckwith has a quote that I say over and over again: sacrifice is giving up something of the lesser for something of the greater. Sandy wouldn't trade in her corporate paycheck for how she lives, and I sure as hell wouldn't trade in how I live for my corporate paycheck. And these paychecks are not small paychecks, people. But it is absolutely about looking at business in the right way as an entrepreneur and not setting yourself up for sabotage by bringing all of your foolishness with you and all of your ideas that you don't even realize are limiting beliefs into your career as an entrepreneur. And many entrepreneurs that I still work with, and many I would love to coach, but they just don't see their path and they don't see their beliefs as the things that are holding them back. And oftentimes, especially within certain communities, individuals go into entrepreneurship with a bunch of foolish beliefs about becoming an entrepreneur, and they risk it all and come into it with beliefs that tell them that because they are a certain gender or a certain sexuality or a certain ethnicity, somehow they're just going to be less equipped to be an entrepreneur. And when you say it out loud, that doesn't make good sense. Why would you ever do something when you have believed or been told that because of who you are, you cannot access capital the same way other people could? Or because of your ethnicity or your gender, you're just going to have it twice as hard as an entrepreneur, and that's just the way it is, and it's written in the stars that way, and there's no way you can overcome that, and it's just a part of the process. Entrepreneurship in of itself is a challenge, and it's even more of a challenge when you come into it with certain beliefs that aren't even yours. Many of these sayings and beliefs go back well before even the age of some of these entrepreneurs. I've met people in their 20s, and they're quoting things that their grandparents said, or someone in the community that's twice their age said, and they've adapted these things as a belief. But yet again, for every one of these limiting beliefs, there's an exception. If there's an exception, it's not a rule. If there's an exception, there's not a rule. So again, we want to focus on overcoming those limiting beliefs. And many of us don't even know that we have them. And I give the example all the time. Sometimes within the African American community, it's impressed upon us that we have to work twice as hard to achieve the same thing. And we've heard this and from individuals who love us and care about us, and they were just preparing us. But if we adopt that as a belief, guess what? We end up working twice as hard to achieve the same thing that the guy next to us with his feet kicked up on the desk, who believes that life comes to him easy, to achieve the same thing. And that's why you end up working next to people who haven't done half of what you've done, but yet you somehow have the same title. Right? It's all a part of our paradigm. It's all a part of our mindset. So I want you all to take a moment as we close out today to reflect on your limiting beliefs. What are your fears or doubts that you have about becoming an entrepreneur? Where do you think these fears stem from? Now, go back and reframe each of these limiting beliefs into positive, empowering statements. Read the empowering statements daily, especially when self-doubt begins to creep in. Over time, these empowering beliefs will become louder than your doubts. To deepen your beliefs and in your mindset, to make this mindset shift possible, consider the stories of others who have stood where you are, but yet they succeeded. I mentioned Madam C.J. Walker. The environment that she was in America at the time to become the first self-made female Black entrepreneur, her environment that she was in politically, her environment that she was in just existing as a woman and as a woman of color, is nowhere near the detriment to the environment that we are in now, with access to pretty much anything that we can imagine. Artificial intelligence, all types of groups that help you to understand how to create and start and build a business, the internet. So I do not want to hear anyone tell me that they cannot make it in 2025 at a time when individuals were becoming millionaires and many of them hadn't even experienced freedom in America for more than 40 years as a people in general. So as you go through and you start to look at each of your disempowering beliefs and you start to reframe them, there are individuals who have found a way to succeed no matter what. A way to address and remove their personal limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are false convictions about ourselves that we hold as absolute truth. They are false. They don't always announce themselves loudly. Instead, they embed themselves quietly into our thoughts and actions, often shaping the way we approach life without us even realizing it. These beliefs still stem from various sources, such as our past experiences, societal expectations, cultural conditioning, messaging we have absorbed as children, or the way we interpret situations. Over time, these beliefs form a filter through which we see the world and our potential within it. In many cases, they keep us safe in a familiar, predictable patterns, shielding us from failure, also shielding us from growth. Limiting beliefs may feel comforting because they keep you in the safety of the familiar. They also prevent you from stepping fully into your potential. Instead of shielding you from failure, they shield you also from growth. By keeping you in predictable patterns, these beliefs limit the risk that you are willing to take, the opportunities you are willing to pursue, and ultimately the life that you are able to create for yourself. You don't have to do it alone. For those of you who are on social media, there's multiple ways to contact me. You can DM me. You can contact us through Seismic Transformations. It's real simple. SEISMIC transformations.com. Seismictransformations.com. Book a meeting with us. It's free to book the meeting. We can tell you about our programs and how you can start to make the shift from either your employee seat into your entrepreneurial seat, or if you're already in an entrepreneurial seat and you're stuck and you're looking around you and wondering, well, how is everyone else moving ahead, but yet you are where you are, but you're grinding and putting all the effort into it. It is not the outside world. That is the most difficult thing as an entrepreneur that you're going to have to work your way into accepting. It's not the outside world. It is you. It is you as the CEO. It is you as the head of that company. It's you, baby. And you can get yourself out of it. You can shift your beliefs. You can start to reframe your paradigm and change your life and change the trajectory of your company. I want everybody, again, to have a safe 4th of July. And I'm old school. Soul trained down. Peace, love, and soul to all of you. Enjoy your 4th.